I have a spreadsheet that like just has like one line for each week in the sermons and the themes, and it's mostly just like 5 or 6 words just for me to keep reference. And Chris she gets access to it so she can figure out which songs like, are the most apropos for worship. And it's kind of fun to like, it's like a Holy Spirit kind of a game where it's like, I'm just going to put one little vague word and like, oh my goodness, all these songs just fit perfectly. I love it. That's definitely a synergeo kind of a thing happening there. Well, it's August. No need for a lengthy setup. You guys know the drill by now. We've had 8 months to figure this out and all of my crazy spreadsheet madness. It's a new month, so it's time for a new series based on the name of the next son of Jacob in birth order, and this is the 8th month, so this is the 8th son. And it's going to be the final child of Leah's handmaid Zilpah, and the 6th son that Leah will claim as her own through the Hebrew cultural loophole thing that they do to say these are hers. And if we again look at this as a competition between Leah and Rachel, counting Leah's kids and both of the handmaid extensions of Zilpah and Bilhah, we are currently at a score of Leah 6, Rachel 2. But we certainly are not seeing it that way, are we? Like we are not keeping score. We are not counting on one or the other and seeing where they're at and whatever. Because as readers, as examiners of this from outside looking in, we can read along and we can root for both women because they are both contributing to this legacy that will be the nation of Israel as a whole, right? We don't need to see it competitively. We're not like, go Leah, yeah. And I don't really think that Leah is either. I don't think at this point that Leah looks at this like she's keeping a score. And not just because she's winning. I can't really make air quotes. My finger is so messed up. I'm sorry. Winning, I'll do the half of one. Someday I'll explain what I did. I'm an idiot when I bowl, so that's that. She's not just, up as far as the kids go, but we have seen a progression from the first child that Leah bore, Reuben, and how she reacts to each one along the way. We have seen her growth. We've seen her maturity. She was initially desperate for her husband's attention. The first child, look, I've had a son, and maybe now my husband's going to love me. And as it goes on farther and farther with Simeon and Levi, maybe there's going to be attachment to my husband. But then she finally, with Judah, realizes, I'm in this to worship the Lord. This is for him. This is for him completely. And then from there on, it just grows more, progresses more. We're seeing her maturity all the way through. It's less about a comparative thing or a competition, or it's not vindictive. It's not any kind of a war of like, yeah, take that, there's another one. It's more of a joy of knowing that a family is growing. And now with this 8th son, Leah is witnessing that both she and her handmaid have had multiple children. Because up to this point, so Zilpah just had the one. Now this is Zilpah's second. Both of them have contributed to Jacob's household multiple children, and multiple means abundance, and abundance is worth celebrating. Genesis 30, verse 12, this is where we get this next son beginning. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, how happy I am. The women will call me happy. So she named him, everyone? Asher. It's a very, very straightforward name meaning. No confusion here. Asher's name means happy or blessed. No gimmicks, no interpretational conflicts. Nothing like Gad. We are on to Asher, and we are happy. We are on to Asher. The second part, though, of that verse that we just read, when Leah reflects on being a mother of this new child and the excitement of another child in the family, she reflects on the name, but like with the other names, she just says the one phrase. She's like, here's why I feel this way, and here's the name. This one, she adds this other little attachment to it in the second part of that third or the 13th verse. She's seeing the joy, but then she attaches one little add-on sentence that doesn't. I don't know that it would really have to be there. I mean, she could have done without it, but she says it, and we're going to call it out because it's very interesting. She said, "The women will call me happy." She says how happy I am, but then the women will call me happy. How do you view that? Just in your heart, as you're looking at that, what does it come across as? I think it can somehow, if you look at it the wrong way, you can start thinking that maybe she's switched from her husband to worrying about the approval of the other women. Like, how do the other women in this family, the other handmaids, the other women in the community, how do they feel about this? Has she stopped worrying about being loved by her husband and striving for social acceptance? Is that why she's saying it? I don't think so. I don't think that tracks. I don't think, based on what we've seen of her emotional growth, I don't think that it would track to say that she is saying the women will call me happy because she needs them to call her happy. That doesn't track with her. I don't think she's seeking approval from other women. With her earlier sons, she made conditional statements like, now maybe my husband will love me, or now maybe my husband will be attached to me. With Asher, she just comments that others will verify how she has reacted. They will see what is already true within her. She's happy, and they will be able to see it. It's like a statement of the obvious. You can see that she's happy. Everyone just outside of her will recognize how she feels. There will be no denying on a cultural level or a societal level that Jacob's family is growing. We're now at 8 children. It's showing signs of being blessed. And I want you to stop, and I want you to look at this verse in that context and see how refreshing that is. That Leah sees how her family has been blessed. God has seen her. God has heard her. God has allowed her and found favor in her to be the mother of the majority of the tribes of Israel. She is genuinely happy, and she knows that joy will be clear to everyone around her. Not dependent on other women. She doesn't need them to be excited for her. Her own happiness is independent. It starts with her. No validation is necessary. No confirmation is needed. Nothing at all from other women. And in the present day, how often is that just the exact opposite? Like, how much so do we see it common for people to find validation from other people? To compare themselves to some sort of archetype of like what they think they should be or what they wish they could be, so that now maybe I'll be happy. If I can get this promotion, I'll be at the same level as those guys. Then life will be great. I can't wait to see the looks on the faces of everybody when I pull up in my new car. If enough people compliment me on the picture I just posted online, I'll feel a lot better about myself. Or more personally, if the sermon videos get shared more online, I'll have more confidence that what I'm doing is the right way to do it, and I'll be happier with my contribution that I'm giving on Sunday worships. That's destructive. It's a destructive way to think, to feel, to react, because it doesn't end. You can't stop and have finality to that type of satisfaction. There is no end to that satisfaction. It will pursue more validation, more confirmation from others. Whatever level appeases you today becomes your ground floor the next time. Paul, in his letter to the Galatians, he wrote to the churches in Galatia about getting caught up in each other's sins and how they should restore each other and they should be there for each other and they should help to make sure that no one gets too far away from it, that they can help bring them back. But in that process, the brothers and sisters themselves could also get caught up in those sins. And then later in that letter, he comments on the danger of comparison and the idea that if your fellow brother is struggling in a sin, that you can't compare and look at them and think, well, they're way far gone in this, I'm fine, while you are in the midst of restoring them. Because if you are right alongside them and you are walking with them trying to help bring them from that sin, you are just as buried deep and can't see it sometimes. And if you're trying to compare and see their life compared to yours, it can go disastrously wrong. This is where it's at. This is in Galatians 6. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions. They can't take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. So even though Paul is addressing from a view of sin, he's looking at it from like a negative side of being brought down from comparisons. It's applying to this situation as well, that we can't ascribe joy in our own lives based on the happiness and the joy from others and from their approval. Only one source can we have to our joy. Joy can only come from one place. Ecclesiastes 2:24. A person could do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness, but to the sinner he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. The blessings that we receive, they come directly from God. There's no other source that can bring true, genuine happiness, because everything less than God is a meaningless pursuit. Meaningless. All of that chapter in Ecclesiastes is all over the place. Meaningless. These are the things that just mean nothing. We should be filled with so much abundant joy from serving God that it comes bursting out of us, that it pops out like popcorn. Like it can't be contained. It has to go somewhere, and it's just boom, out, popcorn. It's hard not to look at popcorn and see happiness, right? Can you look at a bowl of popcorn and think anything other than happy? Does anybody get angry when they look at a bowl of popcorn? Of course. So that's a reaction to something the popcorn can do. But the popcorn itself, in its original form, is joy. It's just pure joy, right? A tiny little kernel gets energized. And after so long and so much energy, it gets so excited, it just has to leap into the air and explode. And then out comes all the goodness inside of the puffiness and the light loveliness of whatever a popcorn is. I don't even know. It's popcorn. Even if you don't like eating it, because there are some people that don't like the texture or what it looks like on the floor afterwards, or that the kernels get stuck in their teeth, you can't deny that it looks happy. If a popcorn kernel had a voice, there is no way it would be a grouchy voice. When it's popping, it would not be like, ugh, pop, harumph. No, your popcorn, if it could speak, is yippee, whoopoo, yippee, boing. We should have yippies and woohoos all the time, pouring out of us from the joy that we have from being blessed by God. Should we not? We should be popcorn all the time. And our happy word, Asher's name, Asher, the Hebrew that it originates from as a verb, like the verb root of Asher, is ashar, which is to go straight, to be upright, to lead forward. And it's from the idea of walking straight and upright that we receive true happiness. Like it's inferred, if you are walking straight, if you are going on a straight path, you will be blessed. You will find happiness through going forward straight. So in other words, by definition, blessedness is not something that we can gain through force. It's not something that we can purchase. It's not something we can create for ourselves based on the opinions of others. It is imparted to us because of the path that we're on. Psalms 1, the very beginning. This is how the first psalm starts. Asher. Asher is the one, blessed is the one, who does not walk in step with the wicked or stand in the way that sinners take or sit in the company of mockers. Instead, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water. So get the image really quick in your head of something that grows and produces vegetation near a stream of water. It yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. They are near the stream, and they are blessed by that stream. We should be delighted to walk in the law of the Lord and to pursue his glory, his light. We should be near to his living water and be excited, to be near his living water. To never be far from real abundant life. not the meaningless race of material possessions, praise from the world, joy from stuff. Happiness is alignment, not accumulation. Happiness is alignment, not accumulation. So this series for August, I'm calling this series Compound Happiness. I want to explore truly how real happiness can grow and spread, like compounding interest on an investment. It magnifies, it's exponential. It can be unstoppable. Popcorn just keeps going, overflowing out of the bowl. Boo, 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 boo. We have to let go of the comparisons. We got to strive to really be filled with joy from walking a straight path, from being near to that river of abundant life, to avoid the temptation to achieve happiness in our own trivial ways. Jeremiah 2. I don't get to quote Jeremiah much. Here's Jeremiah 2. My people have committed 2 sins. Number 1, they have forsaken me, the spring of living water. Number 2, they have dug their own cisterns, broken cisterns that can't hold water. We can't make it up on our own. Happiness that comes from anywhere other than God isn't happiness that will last. It can't hold water. As much as we may convince ourselves that we can make someone love us, or that 1,000 social media posts, or 1,000 likes on those posts, or any number of video watches we have can give us any kind of a new value, or that a new job will solve all of our problems, those are not blessings from a true source. Friends, popcorn cannot pop itself. Popcorn does not pop itself. Do you know what else is fascinating about popcorn, since I'm talking about popcorn? And it's fun to say popcorn. Just like snowflakes, no 2 kernels pop exactly the same way. I mean, that seems obvious. They all kind of look alike, but none of them are exactly alike. Each one is uniquely different shape, the way it pops, how much little beads of moisture have been trapped inside, and when it explodes. Yet no one ever compares individual pieces of popcorn and wishes that they had someone else's individual piece of popcorn, right? It's a bunch of popcorn. It popped and it's in the bowl and it's fun and wonderful, and I'll take that one, you can have this one, and right? You don't compare that because there's nothing inherently enviable about a single piece of popcorn. But when you start adding stuff, you start accumulating. Let's put movie theater butter on it, not regular butter. Let's put that orange movie theater butter on it, or extra movie theater popcorn salt, or caramel, or corn syrup. Let's roll it into a ball and make it something that can get bigger and bigger, and we can want more, and it can accumulate, and we can desire to have an even greater, sweeter, better popcorn ball. Now we have happiness by comparison. Happiness is alignment. A shar is walking straight. Walking straight, upright, leading forward. Jacob's 8th son was a blessing. Asher, by name, was a blessing. Not a blessing because 8 is bigger than 7. Not a blessing because he was better than any other child, or because he was proof that one woman was winning a competition against another one. Leah was happy to find favor with God. Leah was blessed and found to be in favor by God. She was excited to know that her joy could be a testimony to the others. Her blessings were visible to the other women and could be a witness to God's perfect love. She was truly happy to be truly happy and to watch her happiness grow. Boom, boom, wee, yippee, as her children grew. I promise next week I won't do anything with popcorn. And that child called Asher would grow up to lead a tribe whose land would be nestled neatly by the seashore, right next to the abundant life of the water source. It would be naturally fertile and abundant, producing plentiful and fruitful wheat crops that will be made into bread to provide blessings of food to all the other tribes. And because of its nearness to the water source, Asher's land would also be wonderful for producing olives. Really, really good olives came out of Asher's territory. Olives that were so juicy and plentiful, their oil was fit for royalty. And in fact, when Jacob blesses Asher, Jacob says, "Your oil is fit for a king." Nations would be fed and kingdoms would prosper. Happiness compounded. This month's name is a lot easier to discuss in context, but the message is by no means easier to live out. With a world full of comparisons and competitions and all that other stuff that we think we need, the battle to not feed off of the thrill of the stuff, what is ultimately very, very temporarily fulfilling, it's tough. We can help each other in this. We can keep each other on the straight path, near the source. Real value, real happiness is in seeking joy from God alone. Psalms 128. Last thing. Blessed are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to him. You will eat the fruit of your labor. Blessings and prosperity will be yours. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house, and your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Yes, this will be the blessing, the shar, for the man who fears the Lord. Amen.